What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLORIan here. Welcome to a brand new video. And today what I want to do is go over the new trailer we got for The Walking Dead Season 11 titled Turn Around.
We stick together.
Now this trailer opens with Eugene sitting in front of what I do believe is two people, since he does look side to side as if he is looking at, like, you know, two people. And the person or one of the people on the other side of the table opposite from Eugene says, "We are auditors from the Commonwealth." Now this is a female speaking, so you kind of start to question, who is this person? Now I feel it might be, since a lot of people are speculating there's a fake out Stephanie and everything, like, you know, a spy or somebody that'll get Eugene to talk or something. It's not the real Stephanie. Now I feel this could be a reveal, since Eugene is looking fairly stunned. This could be a reveal, like, you know, that this is a spy, that this is not the real Stephanie and everything, and she's one of the people saying we are an auditor for the Commonwealth, which might not be true, since Eugene is sitting with this, like, you know, or seen sitting with this person, other, like, you know, teasers and trailers inside the Commonwealth, or at least inside, like, you know, ice cream shops inside the Commonwealth, or at least I'm assuming they're inside the Commonwealth, since one of their places is an operating ice cream, like, you know, shop. And that's why Eugene looks so stunned, is because he's like, holy fuck, I did not realize you were this person. And I feel like the other person is the other person we've been seeing in, like, you know, a bunch of teasers while, like, you know, being interviewed or interviewing our survivors or our group and everything from Alexandria. And also in the shot, Eugene is seen with a bag over his head, which he has seen a bunch of other times inside other trailers, a bag over his head, which I did think was him being brought to Alexandria after being, like, you know, like interrogated and everything, and being told where's your community and he'll be taken back to there, which still could be the case and does make sense, since he is seen, like, you know, being taken by Commonwealth soldiers outside the communities, and there are Commonwealth soldiers seen on horseback, and I feel like it would make sense for Eugene to be able, like, to the one to tell them this is where our community is and then take them there. And the woman across from Eugene, if that is the one talking in the room, because it might not be the woman talking in the room, she does say you are under level 1 assessment, which is essentially their, I'm assuming, stages, kind of like our group's questions, kind of like how many walkers have you killed and everything, but it's a much more probably, like, you know, longer and more grueling and much more professional procedure, since the Commonwealth is obviously like a group of very, very professional, like, you know, people, or at least the leaders or like soldiers. We next get to see Yumiko and Ezekiel in both the same rooms that Eugene was just in. In both, Yumiko and Ezekiel both seem kind of, I guess you could say, stubborn, or a bit more, like, you know, not willing to answer questions, or not, like, you know, going to play along with the Commonwealth, which might not be the case at all, but they both do kind of look pretty stubborn. Maybe even like, where's our friends, where are you? Or maybe even the Commonwealth are asking where's Alexandria, and they're not willing to comply, and maybe Eugene will be the one to talk and everything. That's why he slams to the ground, as seen in other trailers. And Eugene does ask anything, what if we do not pass inspection, which is a very interesting question to what happens, like, you know, later on in the trailer. Next we see Princess in the Commonwealth camps, or kind of like the cages that they're being held in. She does look behind her to see Mercer, and obviously since she is looking behind her, she is clearly in the cage with someone else, possibly Yumiko, Ezekiel, or Eugene or anything, like, you know, the people that she is caged with. So I do feel Mercer is going to take them out one by one, or maybe in twos, since we do see twos in other, like, you know, trailers and such being taken out. We also do see one more person left in cages, like, you know, at a time. So it makes it confusing on, like, you know, how they're going to take our groups to be questioned or anything. What they're going to take threes, twos, alternately they're going to have people, like, you know, for repeated questioning. But it does look to be that Mercer might be staring at the princess, which is interesting. Next we get another shot that we have seen other teasers, but now there's kind of new context, or possibly a new context. We see him taken down by one Commonwealth soldier while there was another in the background, and we do get to see Mercer in the same room, and the possible Stephanie, or Stephanie's spy, or just spy in general. Now I haven't mentioned this could be the real Stephanie, you know, since there are multiple radios and kind of contact informations or contact resources, like Eugene was speaking to the real Stephanie over, but also this could be a ploy and the real Stephanie might not be in there and anything, or this could be just another radio room that the Commonwealth have, or this could be Stephanie's main room, or maybe there's not a Stephanie at all, which I know is not the case. But I did discuss at longer lengths in another video, which I'll make sure to link down below, that essentially Eugene might be, I guess you could say, compromised, to where maybe he finds out this is Stephanie, is taken down, or this isn't the real or this is the real Stephanie, and he's just taken down anyway after he gives her information. But we do get to see that Yumiko, or not Yumiko, Princess and Ezekiel are in the exact or opposite room, or kind of next room over from Eugene as he's being taken down, and obviously are very attentive on what the hell's going on. And what's very weird is we did get to see Eugene, or not Eugene, we did get to see Ezekiel and Yumiko were being questioned, and we did get to see Princess in the cage, and we were kind of wondering, are they being taken on 2s, 3s, or all at the same time? Which I'm assuming they'll be taken out at separate times, more times for multiple processes of the Commonwealth, like, you know, initiation or like, you know, process into getting into the Commonwealth in the first place, kind of their questioning thing. But I do highly wonder, has Eugene been compromised? Has he given a piece of information that he shouldn't have, and he kind of realized something that he did wrong, and now he's being taken down? Because like I did mention before, I wonder if this is him being like, you know, compromised and then being taken back to Alexandria, like he's given a high class piece of information to the Commonwealth, or maybe to Stephanie that he didn't want. Maybe the Commonwealth burst in and like, you know, tell him we got all we need, kind of like they did to the princess in episode 21, I think it is, or 20, because he does look obviously scared as shit and everything, like he does in the other, like, you know, the first shot of this trailer when he's like, you know, having the bag taken off his head. So maybe him having the bag taken off his head is maybe after the situation or before, since maybe like, you know, he sits down, he has the bag taken off his head, maybe he tries to run towards this room and finds all the radios and everything, and maybe Stephanie, that's how he finds out that she's there, and maybe Stephanie tells them like, you know, don't beat him up and everything, and then they go for their ice cream. I have no clue. That could be the scenario. It might not be. Make sure to comment down below what you guys think will happen in that situation. Now I know we've seen this shot a ton of times, and I think so we'll be making it like very brief on how I go over it, but we do get like a wider shot of the Reapers, which we've seen before, of all the people hanging. But I do think this is very interesting, since I think we've seen a shot like this in the season 11 trailer for Comic-Con, which I'm assuming this is a signature thing that the Reapers do, which is hanging people upside down or anything, which I do wonder why specifically upside down, unless maybe this is a teaser that like, you know, Gabriel will be hung upside down or anything, eating like his comic book death from the Whisperers, but now the Reapers, since his death is like incredibly horrific and like, you know, scary, just like they're describing the Reapers to be and everything, and I feel like that would match, although I feel like they went too far past his death and I wouldn't want him to die at this point. But the Reapers do look to be a horrifying villain that I can't wait to get more into in season 11. And we do get to see Maggie talking to like, you know, someone, I'm not sure who and everything, basically describing what happened with the Reapers and basically maybe who they are. And she basically says, the people who attacked us, by the time you see them, you are already dead, which I'm assuming yet again is her describing them to someone. And maybe it looks like she's in a place in Alexandria, which makes sense, since we do see in other trailers and teasers that they're clearly trying to rebuild Alexandria after possibly the Whispers or a Reaper attack. I'm assuming the Whispers. So I'm pretty sure this is where they're having their sit down and talk on finally who the Reapers are and what happened to Maggie's group. Next we get a shot that isn't the season 11 main Comic-Con trailer, but I do figure I might as well break it down now and everything, since it'll be a bit till I get my full breakdown out. But we get to see a Reaper, or what might be a Reaper, standing next to Dog and everything, which obviously is a terrifying scenario, but I do want to get into that on a separate note and everything in a separate video. But I might as well break down kind of what the whole thing is right now, is that this Reaper is Lay, the person that left Daryl, or Lee, the person that left Daryl in episode, I think, 21, the person that he held so dear to his heart and everything and left him. And this is possibly her, which has been a huge theory in the Walking Dead community about season 11, is that Lay will return as a Reaper, which I don't think would be a bad thing or anything, but if this is not Lay, this would be a terrifying image, the fact that, like, you know, it's right next to Dog. But it's also interesting that this, like, you know, Reaper's not even going towards Dale to try and attack him at all and everything. It could be trying to mess with him and everything and make him feel incredibly vulnerable, since Dog is right next to it. Or it could be Lay, since obviously Dog was, like, you know, her dog and everything, obviously very close to her from the start. It's sitting perfectly fine without going to Daryl, so it does make sense in my opinion. Next we see a bunch of walkers approaching the walls of Alexandria, which obviously there will be a walker attack on Alexandria eventually in season 11, as we did see in the Comic-Con trailer for season 11. And I don't feel that will be by any reason, whether it's Reapers, Whispers, maybe still remaining Whispers that just create like a breach and everything, but I feel it will just be simply just a wall that falls down, because obviously they are rebuilding Alexandria after the attack on the Whispers. Next we get a shot of Carol, who is looking over at Aaron and a bunch of other Alexandrians, trying to, what I'm assuming is, put up a wall to defend against the walkers, which will eventually obviously not succeed, obviously, since there will be a walker breach in Alexandria eventually. But she does, like, you know, walk away from Aaron and, like, you know, the group trying to put up a wall, which obviously is them rebuilding Alexandria after the fall. Now at first, when we watched the season 11 trailer for Comic-Con, we had no clue who Aaron was talking to when he did say, so you're leaving to, like, you know, fight Ghost or find Ghost. But now I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that this is Maggie, because it does look like Maggie's hair, even though it's incredibly blurry, so I might be wondering, how the fuck do you think that's Maggie? But it does look to be Maggie and everything that Aaron's talking to when he says, so you're leaving to fight Ghost. Now, whether that means the Reaper's mask or anything, how they kind of look like ghosts and everything, or maybe Aaron's saying, like, oh, you're, like, you know, leaving to fight people who you already thought that you killed, and Aaron might be like, so you're going to, like, you know, leave to fight people who are clearly already dead, but obviously Maggie might be like, no, we did not get them all. But I do feel this is definitely like, you know, Maggie that Aaron's talking to, but make sure to comment down below what you guys think Aaron's meaning by "so you're leaving to fight Ghost." And it also does look to be the same room that Maggie is in, or anything kind of wood in Alexandria, I'm assuming. Next, we got someone lifting a Whisper mask at what I do believe is a basket, and it does look to be that this might be a Commonwealth soldier. I'm not sure, because it does look like there's a, like, you know, kind of a white knee pad right there and everything pulling this out of, like, you know, a basket, which will definitely be very weird to the Commonwealth and everything, pulling out a, you know, face mask and everything. That's saying that's like stitched up to be a face mask because they might have never seen them before. And it does also look to be a white handle that's pulling this mask out and everything. So I do feel this is a Commonwealth soldier, but I do wonder what the conditions are. Maybe this is after the Commonwealth do get to Alexandria, since obviously in, I think, the season 11 Comic-Con trailer, Maggie is seen with a Whisper mask, and also Lydia and Negan, a bunch of them have, like, you know, masks from the Whispers and everything after the war, and after having to use them themselves to, like, you know, escape the hospital and just escape walkers in general and Whispers. So this could be the, like, you know, Commonwealth at Alexandria, or maybe Eugene, or maybe one of them had them stacked inside, like, you know, a pack or whatever, or maybe a Commonwealth soldier did face a Whisper before encountering our group, which definitely be interesting. Or straight up, maybe this is not a Commonwealth soldier at all, and this is them just finding a Whisper's mask. Next, we go to a group down in the subway tunnels, and essentially Daryl quickly says stop and shit and everything, and everyone stops in their tracks. Maggie, Gabriel, and then Gage, who surprisingly has a decent amount of dialogue in this trailer and everything. For, like, he does, like, it sounds kind of weird and everything since it's only one line, but the fact that he does speak is pretty interesting, since a lot of people think he is gonna die in episode 1 or down in the subway tunnels along with Alden. But in another sneak peek that we did get for season 11 or anything, there was a moment where Negan tried, I guess I wouldn't even say tried taking control, but where he essentially said there's water above us, and I think that's what he said, that there's water above us and that we should not go this way because it's a God's way of telling us not to go. As then Gabriel goes, he didn't let me know that and everything, which is pretty funny. But I do feel this is possibly the thing that we've been seeing in all the trailers, where they, like, the group is kind of, like, you know, anxious to continue going forward. I do feel like this is the scenario and everything, is that there's water above them that could collapse down, which in that teaser, like, you know, Daryl was not very happy at Negan, like, you know, trying to take control in big quotes, and obviously Maggie was not at all happy that Negan spoke up, and they end up continuing going on. But in another teaser or sneak peek that we did get, it was mentioned that there was a possible continuation of a mass grave down there that maybe Reapers are using, or maybe even the Commonwealth, but it is, like, you know, stated as if it is the Reapers, since, like, you know, Negan does say the people that we are looking for, and Maggie does say that no, it's the people, like, you know, that were killed during the fall, since they are in body bags. Maybe people trying to contain the virus early on, but I'm not quite sure. I feel it is the Reapers, and I think, since I don't think Commonwealth soldiers would do that unless maybe yet again it is during the fall. But Negan does make a lot of good points so far. Next, we see our group fighting of Carol, like, you know, Lydia, Maggie, Rosita, I think, and maybe Yumiko or Magna. No, yeah, it's Magna, fighting inside that military hangar, like, you know, surrounded by walkers and everything, with a bunch of helicopters around them, which is clearly the military base that Daryl did find, which I am interested to see how they're going to, and how they're going to utilize that, and what's going to go on inside of it, because we did get a really cool and epic badass shot of Daryl standing over the military base they did find and everything, and it looked really cool. So I do feel this is going to play, like, you know, really big into season 11, or at least a little bit into part 1. Next, we get a shot of Connie, like, you know, facing back to a door and everything, terrified as hell. And I do want to speak about this, like, you know, in another video, but it turns out her and Virgil are together, and maybe, just maybe, might run into some not nice people and everything in this house or building that they're in. But yeah, I'll speak on that longer in another video and everything. Next, we get Judith walking away from the Alexandrian gates and everything, very, like, you know, tear-eyed and everything, with Grace. And I'm assuming this is after they lost someone. Maybe this is after the fall, or not fall necessarily, but the breach of Alexandria. Maybe they lost some people. Maybe Judith's losing some hope. But make sure to comment down below what you guys do think Judith is possibly sad about. And we've gone over this in other trailers, so I'll be brief, but we do get to see Yumiko in Commonwealth gear near the Wall of the Lost, which I'm not sure if this is stolen Commonwealth gear or if this is given to her from a Commonwealth soldier, because if it is stolen, it might be her escaping, possibly trying to, like, you know, pose as a Commonwealth soldier. And I've said it a lot of time in other videos, so I'll be brief yet again, that this might be her brother that she's seeing, because a lot of people are theorizing that it might be her brother that she finds on the Wall of the Lost, which would be very, very interesting, and I would like to see. Next, we get to see Daryl going guns blazing through one of the subway trains and everything, killing some walkers with the gun, which is really cool to see guns back in the Walking Dead universe, since obviously they've been pretty absent, since obviously it's probably pretty hard for them to find bullets, even though I think Eugene is practically certified on making bullets. But I heard with some stuff behind the scenes on the show why they never brought guns back, but I'm not sure if that was true since they have them now. But I'm assuming also in the subway train, from other shots in the Commonwealth, and not the Commonwealth, but this Comic-Con trailer, that they will be taking turns and anything going through this, like, you know, train or anything, trying to kill walkers so they can make it through the train and have only one direction for the walkers to go in or anything, so obviously they don't overwhelm the survivors. And obviously they're gonna be switching places, so like, you know, just in case one person runs out of energy, someone else can take over. Next we see Maggie in the woods and everything. This is clearly during the, like, you know, the Reaper fight at night and everything in the woods, and she does throw a sickle at a Reaper who does look like Ghost from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or Call of Duty Ghost. And I did remember when I saw this shot in this Comic-Con trailer, I did think this was Elijah fighting with a Reaper or anything, since obviously it's a sickle. Elijah has sickles and anything, or at least a weapon that looks really much like this. But she throws at this Reaper and everything, it sticks into a wall, or not wall, a branch or a tree. And what's really weird is how Maggie has this. Maybe it's a common Reaper weapon, since a lot of people have been theorizing that Elijah is from the Reapers. So maybe this is just a common weapon inside the Reapers, or maybe since there's blood on this, like, you know, pickaxe or, like, you know, sickle, maybe this Reaper killed or, like, you stabbed Elijah or anything, and then Maggie took it out of Elijah and threw it at the Reaper, tried fighting with Elijah's weapon. At first I did think also this was, like, you know, Elijah versus a Reaper, and obviously since a lot of people think Elijah's from the Reapers, it'd be an interesting scene to see, like, you know, a past Reaper fighting a current Reaper. Or we might get a Star Wars moment where, like, you know, this Reaper's like traitor to, like, you know, Elijah, which would be funny, I guess. Next we get a shot of Negan talking down the subway tunnels, where he essentially says that is God telling us to turn around, which is referencing what I did mention in a past sneak peek, where, like, you know, Negan said there's water up above us and everything. Gabriel says he didn't notify me. Classic Gabriel. And then Negan saying that's a sign that we should turn around, which obviously, like, you know, Maggie will get angry at him, and Negan or Daryl will get mad at him, saying, like, you know, you're not in control or anything, so keep on moving. And Negan's kind of just like, you guys are gonna get me fucking killed. Next we get some flashing shots of Commonwealth soldiers inside the Commonwealth, and we get a shot of Lance Hornsby and everything, which would be played by the actor who was actually the father inside 13 Reasons Why and everything, and played the father in the movie 8th Grade, which I did mention in my last video and everything, but I thought I'd mention this one since I didn't mention it and everything in the last video, like, you know, through voice. But that is really cool in my opinion. I can't wait to see him play Lance Hornsby, since that is, like, you know, an actor that I do like, and I can't wait to see him play him. But the Commonwealth do look really funny, like, you know, standing around him while he has his hands on his shoulders. I just can't wait to see more of that. And the Commonwealth's, like, you know, whole slogan and, like, you know, saying fight the dead, save the living. Now, while we do get to see a walker tied with its, like, you know, back to a tree and everything, which I said before might be a Reaper, like, you know, thing where they like, you know, burn someone alive and tied their, like, you know, backhands as maybe a form of torture or slow death. But I did also mention it could be Gabriel's death, where the Reapers tie him to be maybe eaten or anything, or maybe burn him alive, or like you know, it could just be a logical saying that where maybe it's just a walker that's just tied up. Or maybe it's Jim from season 1 or anything. I don't know, that'd be cool. But also in the last and final shot of this trailer and anything, we do get a crowbar, a bloody crowbar standing, like, you know, in front of, or maybe behind, or maybe has their back too. But we do get to see Maggie standing at, like, you know, looking at this person. And the number one person we do see in most of the trailers with the crowbar is Negan. So this is Negan facing Maggie with a bloody crowbar. That is definitely scary as hell. Like, maybe Negan killed someone, maybe Negan saved Maggie, maybe Negan killed a walker, maybe Negan has his back faced to Maggie, which is a really bad idea, especially, like, you know, him to have his back faced against her. Or maybe this is when Maggie, like, you know, was pulled away from that person that was possibly being eaten in the woods and everything, and she's maybe pissed at Negan, but Negan's like, I had to do, or I did what I had to do to save you. But I do feel this is Negan and everything, and Maggie, and, like, you know, the scene, and if they are looking at each other and they're all alone in the woods, that is a very fucking scary scenario, and possibly could get into a Negan versus Maggie confrontation. Physical, I doubt it. Maybe, like, you know, voice, or, you know, a vocal confrontation thing I do believe could ensue and everything, but this does look to me in like, you know, Negan and his crowbar and Maggie alone in the woods. But that was this trailer and everything for season 11, the trailer called Turnaround, which will be linked down below and everything, so you guys go take a look at anything without my voiceover. It does come from the Walking Dead YouTube channel, which make sure to go check out their channel, I think, because that's where they do post the latest trailers before I do cover them. But that was the trailer and everything. There were a lot of interesting things that did happen, such as, like, you know, Eugene, like, you know, being, like, you know, held by the Commonwealth and everything, and being questioned, and maybe possibly by the fake Stephanie and everything. But I do wonder who is questioning him and who is the woman that is questioning him, and what is happening with Eugene being taken down by the Commonwealth soldiers. What do you guys think is happening there? Also, what do you guys think is going to happen in the subway tunnels with our groups now having access to guns again, and, like, you know, Negan saying we should turn around? What do you guys think is going to happen in the subway tunnels in general? Do you think that is Lay in the Reaper costume and everything, or Reaper, like, you know, get up? And how do you think the, like, you know, whole breach of Alexandria is going to go with the walkers getting coming in? Why do you think Judith is very emotional? And what do you think is going on in the final shot of this trailer with, like, you know, possibly Negan and Maggie alone in the woods? What do you think will happen there? Because that's definitely a scary ass, like, you know, scenario. Make sure to comment, like, your thoughts on all that down below and everything. But that was my breakdown for this trailer turnaround for The Walking Dead season 11. And yeah, that was all for today. Anything, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more of the latest in the Walking Dead universe. I tried to get a breakdown for the original Comic-Con trailer for, like, you know, season 11 of The Walking Dead, but the trailer breakdown is just not gonna happen because it's an hour long, and at this point it's you know, happened a while ago. So I'm only gonna release breakdowns of little bits in the trailers and anything over the coming days and everything, since I do want to get to uploading more. But yeah, with all that out of the way and everything, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more of the latest in the Walking Dead universe and everything, and more breakdowns like this for more trailers, because there will be more stuff being released and everything. So I'm not sure, since I think we're not done with The Walking Dead Origins, which obviously they've released stuff, new stuff and everything every time that, like, you know, Walking Dead Origins episode releases. But yeah, that was all everything. See you guys later, my amigos, and peace out.